These are my brutally honest thoughts on all of the new hair care I've been testing out, including both high-end and drugstore, in the hopes that I can help you to figure out what is actually worth your money and what is not. It's time to begin. Let's count it in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's start off with the product line that you guys have been asking me to review for well over a year at this point. It is the L'Oreal Professionnel Absolut Repair Molecular. That's literally it. That's how it ends. Absolute Repair Molecular. Molecular what? Is that just me? I'm like, that's not a complete sentence or name. Anyway, so obviously we can gather from the kind of funky naming that this is L'Oreal Professionnel's take on bond repair, and specifically it claims to go beyond regular repair masks. God. L'Oreal says that this will rebuild hair molecular structure and restore strength with deep penetration and an instant transformation. And the system contains a patented formula with a peptides bonder and 5 amino acids. If you're up to date with my videos, then you know that I have shared some thoughts on the use of amino acids in reparative systems before. But in case you're not up to date with my videos and not familiar with my stance on that, I'm going to list a video below where I talk about that more in depth. And I guess I shouldn't even say that they're my own thoughts, because they're not my original thoughts. They're actually the thoughts of a cosmetic chemist that I follow on Instagram. She has posted something dedicated to this idea of amino acids or added protein being used for repair. And to sum it all up quickly, the ability of those ingredients to actually repair our hair is questionable. However, 2 things. That doesn't mean that amino acids can't benefit our hair in other ways. So that is something to keep in mind that I feel like I kind of glossed over in that video that I wish I had kind of considered more deeply. And on top of that, because of the type of company that L'Oreal is and how massive they are and the budget that they most certainly have for R&D, L'Oreal is a company that I trust to formulate efficacious products. So I'm going to leave space for there to be things going on with this formula that I'm just not aware of as somebody that is not a cosmetic formulator. I am certainly not going to pretend to be the expert on something that I am not an expert on because I'm not a cosmetic chemist. Instead, I'm again going to leave space for the fact that there are things going on that we are not aware of. Maybe just like I said in that last video, the use of amino acids here is really just for marketing purposes. Or maybe the way that this is formulated and the way that those amino acids interact with the patented peptide bonder give our hair some sort of additional benefit. There's just no way for us to know for sure, but I do have faith in the ability of this peptide bonder to be what repairs our hair. Also, something that I did notice in the rinse is that citric acid is towards the very top of the label. So that may be something that is also part of the equation that for whatever reason, maybe again for marketing purposes, they've just chosen not to highlight. Although it doesn't seem to be towards the top of the label for the shampoo or the leave-in mask either, which by the way are 3 of the 4 products that they currently have in this lineup. When I originally purchased this, they only had a shampoo, a rinse-off serum, which says to have 2% of that peptides bonder. So I think that this is really designed to be the most intensely reparative product in the entire lineup. And then they also had a leave-in mask that I picked up. But since then, they have launched another product in this system, and it is a hair mask, which I think was the right thing to launch because after using this system, I can say for sure that it was not conditioning enough by itself for me to want to use it without a conditioner or a hair mask in the future. So let's talk about my experience in using each of these products individually and as an entire system. Starting off with a shampoo. This shampoo is one that is creamy, it's milky, and while it's not the heaviest shampoo I've ever tried, it's also not something that I would really consider to be lightweight. It does definitely have a little bit of a thicker, stiffer quality to it. And all of the cleansing agents used in this shampoo are considered to be gentle or mild, so that combined with that slightly thicker, creamier texture, unsurprisingly just didn't leave me feeling like I had the best cleanse after using it. It's one of those shampoos that makes me feel like I need to reach for dry shampoo really quickly after using, like already the next morning. I'm like, okay, my hair looks kind of dirty. So it's not a shampoo that I personally love for my scalp type, but if you have a dry scalp, you may really enjoy this. Moving on to the rinse off serum, this is something that you're supposed to apply to clean, wet hair. So I applied it after using shampoo. And this is something that is very, very similar to a lamellar water. If you have tried the L'Oreal Wonder Waters, for example, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just that really lightweight liquidy texture that is almost water-like. However, this rinse is something that I think is just a little bit more slippery. So I would describe it more as like a silky liquid, but it still is liquidy enough and lightweight enough that it's not something that really makes sense for me to apply with my hands, which is actually what they recommend to do. So they say to press 2 to 3 pumps of the serum onto your hands, distribute evenly onto each section from lengths to ends, and then work the serum through the hair between between the palms of your hands for 1 to 2 minutes. So kind of like gently massaging your hair. But that's something that just doesn't really work well for me with this kind of product texture, not only because it starts to like, oh my God. I was testing out a peel-off mask earlier. I am not shedding before your eyes. Where was I? Not only because it starts to slip through my fingers, but also because it's so thin and lightweight that it's really difficult to control application on my hair. There's just a really big difference when it comes to the amount of control you have over even application on the hair with a liquid rinse like this versus a conditioner or a mask, which, all of that to say, is why I don't love the packaging for this. It's something that has a pump on it, and I feel like it would be a lot easier to use and you would just get better, more even results if it had packaging similar to this Amika treatment or the Kerastase gloss, both of which we'll review in this video. It's not something that's an absolute make or break for me because you can obviously pump this directly onto your hair. I just think that it would be even better if it had packaging like this. I'm just being nitpicky, like always. I did like how this made my hair feel, but I wouldn't say that there was anything that remarkable about the results that I saw with it, which makes sense because the purpose of this product is to deliver that repair. It's not necessarily the same kind of thing as a gloss like this one from Kerastase. I do still think that I got some softening and smoothing with it, and because of the nature of the product, I feel like it's something that I would consider adding to my routine if it were not for something that we're going to talk about in a second, but let's first finish up with my thoughts on the leave-in mask. So this is supposed to be applied on clean towel dried hair, and I will say that I'm not super clear on whether or not you can use conditioner before this, because in this photo that they originally posted when this line launched, they show step 1 shampoo, step 2 rinse off serum, step 3 leave-in mask. And then under it, it says pro tip, follow the rinse off serum with a conditioner or mask, which makes me think that you can use conditioner or a mask before using this, but I'm not 100% sure because of the fact that it does say your hair needs to be clean. I would consider the texture of this to be more of a lightweight lotion-like consistency. It does look like it's going to be a bit thicker and creamier and heavier when you pump it out of the bottle, but as you start to rub it between your hands, it kind of thins out and has a really nice texture. And this also contains amodimethicone, so it's not only delivering that peptide bonder, but it's also conditioning and protecting your hair as well. This, I would say, is my favorite product out of all 3 of these that I tried in this system. I really enjoy the texture. I like the way that it makes my hair feel, but again, I don't really feel like there's anything that out of the ordinary about it. There's nothing about it that I can't get with other leave-ins. It's certainly not something that makes my hair feel better than what I'm currently using for leave-ins. My hair does just feel better with the products that I have already told you guys are my favorites. So it's not like these made my hair feel bad by any means. It's just that like I like the experience I get better with the products that I already love. And again, if I were to consider adding a couple products from this system to my regimen, it would be either the rinse or the leave-in mask or both, but I cannot because of how these smell. I need to like get these away from me because I can smell it from here. So they describe the fragrance as being a blend of fresh, salty bergamot, smoky vanilla, and everlasting flower. And it's everlasting, all right. I hate, double hate, triple hate how this smells. Oh my God, it is so intense, so intense. And to me, it just smells like a men's cologne, which like, if we're smelling it from that perspective, I would be able to appreciate it a little bit more, but because of that and how seriously strong it is, putting this in my hair and then like continuing to catch whiffs of this all day long, all the next day while I have it in my hair, it honestly makes it unbearable for me, which is such a bummer to have that be the thing that makes me be like, I simply cannot. And I know I'm not the only one because I went to look at reviews of this to see if anybody was feeling the same way as me, and so many people left reviews saying the exact same kind of thing. Like, oh my God, it's so overpowering. For why? Why do we have to do that? While I really do trust L'Oreal's ability to create products that deliver on the promises that they make, which in this case is repair, this is just not a system that's for me. All right, moving right along. I know that that was a very long review for a video that has a lot of other products in it, but I feel like I needed to give you guys all of those details because again, I have been getting questions on this system forever, so many requests to review, so I wanted to make sure that it was as thorough as possible so you can understand why it's just not something that I'm going to be using or recommending in the future. Let's move on and we'll be snappier with the rest of these. Neutrogena recently launched 2 more scalp therapy shampoos. It's actually their scalp therapy anti-dandruff, anti-dandruff sounds nicer. Their anti-dandruff lineup, which they already had one of before, and I have recommended that to you guys before. It's a line that contains salicylic acid, now in varying amounts. So the OG version of this says itchy scalp on the label, and that one contains 2.5% salicylic acid. But it also has menthol in it, which they say is to help with an itchy scalp. I generally am not a fan of menthol in shampoos. Number one, because I don't want minty shampoo. Like, I don't know. Is that just me? I don't want mint on my hair. But also because if something is overly minty, it can end up being irritating for my scalp, which thankfully was not an issue for me with that original itchy scalp shampoo. It was subtle enough to where the fragrance really wasn't something that bothered me or I even really noticed, and it didn't irritate my scalp at all. I actually think it's something that gives me a great cleanse and is something that is really helpful for flaky, scaly scalp conditions. Because of that salicylic acid, which they say is clinically proven to control scalp flakiness, irritation, and redness due to dandruff. Now we have these two, which are the Scalp Buildup Control Medicated Shampoo and the Extra Strength Medicated Shampoo. This one has 3% salicylic acid. This one has 2.5%. This one is a little bit misleading because it says with apple cider vinegar on the front. So I feel like they're making it seem like, oh, you're gonna get additional scalp benefit from that apple cider vinegar, but it's really just an apple fragrance. Because when you actually look into it on their website, here, wait, let me pull this up. It says with refreshing apple cider vinegar fragrance. And unless I am missing something, I don't see apple cider vinegar on the label. But I actually do really like the way that this smells and the fact that it makes it have more of a fragrance than that original, which again, just doesn't really smell like anything to me. So if you have tried the original version of that shampoo, but you would prefer something that has a nice appley fragrance, then this would be what you want to go for because the ingredients are essentially identical otherwise. The extra strength version with 3% salicylic acid is fragrance free and again, smells like nothing, like actually nothing here, not even a trace of mint. And again, other than the additional 0.5% salicylic acid, has pretty much the exact same, I mean, not pretty much, it's literally the exact same ingredients with the exception of this being fragrance free. Obviously, I can't tell by looking at these labels how much of each ingredient is present, so they very well could have made adjustments to them, but in terms of the way that these feel and the results that I get and the overall experience, everything's the same. There are no sulfates in this, but the primary cleansing agent is sodium C141611 sulfonate, which I have talked to you guys about a million times before. That is an ingredient that's often used in clarifying shampoos that claim to be sulfate free so that they can still offer a deep cleanse without having a technical sulfate. It's a technicality. So in saying that, these give me a really great cleanse. I wouldn't say it's to the level of something like Pantene Volume and Body. Like it's not quite as squeaky as that, but I get a perfect long-lasting cleanse with these. I love the addition of salicylic acid for oil control and for flakes. Oh, and I forgot to describe the actual texture of these. I would say that they're like a slightly thicker, stiffer gel than something like Pantene Volume and Body. But I wouldn't say that it's quite as stiff as something like the Way Detox shampoo. If you're familiar with that, you know what I'm talking about. There is like a little bit of a stiffer feel to that. I would say that the Neutrogena shampoos are like in between Way and Pantene. So definitely shampoos worth looking into if you prefer a shampoo that gives you a really great residue-free clean that is also going to deliver some additional benefit for flakes, itch, oil, etc. Moving right along, we have a new launch in the Garnier hair on this. In the Garnier Fructis hair filler range. So this is a system, well, I guess I should say it's like a product. What is it? It's like a giant system that they have with subsystems within them because they have this hair filler line that has 3 different lines within it. So they have a strength repair line that I have recommended to you guys before. That is my personal favorite. They also have a moisture and color care system. And now they have added a 4th, which is the Fullness Repair Shampoo and Conditioner with polypeptides. And what's actually interesting about the hair filler range of products is that they're all intended to be used with their hair filler bond repair treatment. So it's like you pick the line that you want out of all of them, and then you can use that same treatment with every single one. Details. The sulfate-free Garnier Fructis Hair Filler Fullness Repair System is formulated with polypeptides and citric acid and a repair care complex that fills thin, weak hair with volume. The overall goal or purpose of this system is for less hair fall due to breakage. So the polypeptides added to this, which are palmitoyl tripeptide 1 and palmitoyl tetrapeptide 7, are actually not in the strength repair system that I recommend to you guys. I feel like that's something that I often forget because I'm usually talking about the shampoo and conditioner with the reparative treatment, which is what does contain those polypeptides. So the inner fiber treatment has those exact same peptides that they have now added to the shampoo and conditioner. The strength repair system has citric acid, which we know is reparative as well, amodimethicone, and vitamin C. I have never really highlighted the use of vitamin C in those formulas because I don't actually know if they're doing anything to strengthen our hair. When I've tried to look into any research that exists on vitamin C for hair health, it has nothing to do with the actual hair fiber itself and everything to do with its effects on our scalp and hair growth. But in the conversation that I had with the head chemist at Pantene this summer, which I've told you guys about before, we did discuss the use of antioxidants in hair care products more from like a protective perspective. They are supposed to be helpful for protecting our hair from free radical damage, not necessarily repairing damage that already exists. So those are really the main differences in the reparative ingredients in the strength repair system versus the new fullness repair system. Other than that, well, we'll get into it because it differs for each product. The shampoos are very, very similar, both in terms of ingredients and actual feel and experience. They both have the same primary cleansing agent, which again is sodium C141611 sulfonate. And I would say the cleanse that I get with them is the same. Like I get a really nice residue-free cleanse with both, but they're not identical. So they're both clear gels. This fullness repair shampoo is just a tiny bit thicker and a tiny bit stiffer. It's a subtle difference. Again, something I'm just trying to be nitpicky on in case you're really curious to know the difference between the two. In use, it's not really something that I really like notice being different at all. And again, the results that I get in terms of the actual clean are the same. I just wanted to point that out for you. Also, the smell is the same. Classic Garnier apple. However, the conditioner ingredients are not the same because not only does this conditioner not contain amodimethicone like strength repair, but it actually doesn't have silicones at all. And I swear to God, that is not even something that I knew before testing this. I tested it out so many times and every time I was like, what's happening here? Why am I not having a good experience like I had with strength repair? And now everything makes sense, which we will get to in a second. But to quickly explain the texture, I would say that it's similar in that it's also a lightweight cream, but it's a little bit less rich and less dense. And after using this conditioner several times, I have an official formal list of complaints. My hair definitely felt drier, did not have as much shine, did not feel as silky soft and smooth. It actually got really staticky, which to be fair, I'll cut Garnier some slack. It has been so cold and dry here in Minnesota this month, like disturbingly cold, but my hair does not get staticky like that when I am using my favorite silicone containing products. So the static was an issue. My hair was also getting tangled and matted, like underneath here. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those of you that have really fine hair that is susceptible to tangling, this spot at like the nape of our neck, is that the right way to say that? Like where our neck meets our head. Hello. That is where my hair tends to get tangled the easiest, especially if I am not using conditioning products that do their job. And every time I use this, my hair would mat together there and then I would have to try to like gently detangle it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm scared it's gonna break because my hair also just felt more fragile than it normally does. It felt like I was missing a layer of protection and I didn't even realize why until I looked into the ingredients and everything they were claiming. And I was like, oh, I literally am missing that layer of protection that I normally have. So, nope. I'll probably use up this shampoo because again, it was pretty much the same exact thing as strength repair, but moving forward when it comes to the system that I want to rely on, the system that I'm going to recommend, it will continue to be strength repair and not fullness repair. Left that open. Also, I'm sorry, thin, weak hair that is prone to breaking needs silicones. Why are we taking silicones out of this kind of system? Like that's the exact kind of hair type that should not be using silicone-free products. It's really upsetting. My lips are feeling really dry and I'm realizing it's because I forgot to put on a gloss. Amika lip oil with glitter in it. Moving on from shampoo and conditioner, let's dive into the hair glosses and glossy type treatments that I have tested out. Starting off with the Kerastase Chroma Gloss, which went so viral on TikTok when the whole hair gloss trend started. I feel like it was very much a battle between this gloss, the Living Proof gloss, which we will get to, and the original L'Oreal Elvive gloss. So this claims to be a high shine hair gloss that strengthens and seals the surface of our of the hair fiber to protect color and leave a high shine finish. This contains 0.7% lactic acid and the usuals with rinses and glosses like this, quaternary ammonium compounds. Actually, something that I have noticed, the second ingredient, the second ingredient in this is propylene glycol, and when I saw that, it was like something clicked in my head. I was like, why do I feel like that is the second or third ingredient in all of these rinses? And upon further investigation, using Special Chem, it turns out that this is something that is supposed to instantly soften hair, making detangling easy, making our hair frizz-free. It may have damage protective abilities. It helps our hair to feel conditioned. So I don't think that is just a coincidence when it comes to these kinds of glosses. The texture of this is pretty much like water compared to the L'Oreal Professionnel rinse. It's definitely, more watery. It doesn't have that like extra silky feel to it, but something that they actually say that I do agree with is that when the formula mixes with water, it transforms into more of a creamy texture. It does do that as you're rubbing it on your hair. It's really like a fun experience. What's not a fun experience is the way that this smells. I'm scared. Oh my nose hairs are burning. This smells awful, which I'm really confused by because it's not like Kerastase doesn't know how to make products that smell really nice. They have some products that smell incredible. My stylist was actually just using Kerastase shampoo and conditioner on me at the salon, and I was like, God, this smells good. This does not. It's like intense floral, rose, and dust. Something about this smells dusty to me. And then you've got like the So even if this gloss gave me insane results, it would not be something I would keep in my collection because of that, but thankfully it doesn't give me insane results at all. It's good, it wasn't bad, but it's nothing to write home about. I definitely get better results with other things. A couple of the other glosses we're gonna talk about in a second, so all around, it's just a pass. Let's move on to the Amika Smooth Over Frizz Fighting Treatment, which I told you guys I really wanted to try in one of my Sephora VIB videos because of the ingredients I saw at the very top of the label. Glycolic acid, lactic acid, sea buckthorn oil, coconut oil. So this is supposed to be a 60-second in-shower rinse-out smoothing treatment that instantly reduces frizz, even in high humidity. This has an interesting texture for a rinse. If you're familiar with the Amika The Flash Shine Gloss, that one has more, of like the glossy kind of silky, watery texture I was talking about before. This one is more of like a jelly texture, but it still is super lightweight and still is something that kind of like melts down or softens into my hair in a really nice way. I do have to use quite a bit of this to get that softening effect, but when I do, I feel like it's kind of similar to what I experienced with Dove Bond Strength, where I do just feel it instantly softening my hair. It's definitely not quite on the same level as Dove Bond Strength. I do get more of that slip and silkening with that, but similar kind of experience with this where I was like, wow, I definitely just feel this making my hair really soft. And I did definitely notice that once I was out of the shower and my hair was dried and styled, my hair felt super soft, which I loved. I don't have super frizzy hair naturally, so that's not really a benefit that I can speak to. I would imagine this doing a nice job at reducing frizz because of that softening effect. So if any of you do have more of a naturally frizzy hair type and you've tried this, I would love to hear your experience with it if you feel like it does give you that frizz fighting effect. For me personally, it's not something that I feel like I need to repurchase once it's gone, which it almost is gone, because of the fact that I can get that same kind of effect with Dove for a more affordable price. But if Dove Bond Strength didn't work for you, maybe you don't like the fragrance of that line, this one smells so good. It just has Amika's signature fragrance, which is really nice. Then this might be something worth looking into. The next gloss is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day High Shine Gloss, which is supposed to be a silicone-free in-shower gloss designed to transform dull hair by delivering 2 times the shine, smoothness, and vibrancy with lasting results. I kind of a little bit roasted the marketing images for this product in a video that I posted recently talking about all of the beauty trends I am freaking sick and tired of. Wait, did I talk about this in that video? It was on my list, but now I'm like, maybe I skipped over it to save time. I find these images very interesting because to me, it's clear that they have like really increased, I don't know, something about this to make the hair look more reflective, because you can see it in the before too, like especially with this blonde one. I don't know. And the reason why I think they did that and they want the images to look like that is because of this benefit that they're claiming as like the most amazing part of this product, which is that it's supposed to create new visible light, unlike compared to other hair gloss brands, they say, coating the hair for superficial shine. This is coating our hair as well. Like, don't get it twisted. Just because it's silicone free doesn't mean that it's not creating a coating on the hair. That's what good conditioning products do, which I actually surprisingly think that this is. But I just can't stand this kind of marketing claim like, oh, we don't coat the hair. It's like, yes, you do. Or else this wouldn't condition our hair at all. I was actually just talking to Alex, the cosmetic chemist who owns Educated Mess, about this topic this weekend. We were both just like venting about this because the way that conditioners work, the way that they're able to condition and soften and protect our hair is by creating a coating. And on top of that, there are brands that celebrate the fact that they're silicone free by saying this exact same kind of thing. We don't create a coating on the hair, but then you look at the ingredients and what do you know? The second and third and several other ingredients are known for their ability to create a nice coating on the hair, which is what we want. For example, jojoba esters, again, the second ingredient in this, is said to be an ingredient most commonly used for its film-forming attributes and similarities to silicones. They improve wet combing, frizz, smoothness and sleekness, softness, shine. So that is likely one of the big reasons why this feels the way that it does, which I will say is a really nice silky soft lotion. Did I just say silky? Silky soft lotion. Silky soft lotion. Silky soft lotion. Silky. Okay. This is another that I feel instantly softening in my hair in the shower, and after the fact, I do think that it makes my hair feel nice and soft. It does add nice shine. I really do like it. It's just that I like L'Oreal even better. I think that L'Oreal adds more slip, more smoothness, more shine. And you guys agreed with me on that because I posted a side-by-side comparison of these two over on Reels and TikTok, and basically everybody was like, L'Oreal wins. This smells really nice. It's Living Proof Signature Fragrance. Do they have one or two that they often use? In their dry shampoo, it's really overpowering for me, like the original one, but this is a little bit subtler, so it's just something that I think is nicer. So this is actually a gloss that I think is really nice. It's one of the few silicone-free products that I don't hate. It's just that I don't like it better than my products with silicones added. Moving on to hair masks, there's just one that I've tested out. I feel like we haven't really had a lot of new hair mask launches recently. More so, glosses seem to be dominating. But this is one that I have had my eyes on for a while. It is the Color Wow Money Mask for super glossy, expensive looking hair. The ingredients that they call out in this are insane. Mediterranean-derived marine actives like blue sea kale, hydrolyzed vegetable protein complex, Mediterranean sea kelp, algae. Sometimes I feel like these brands sit in a room and like they'll formulate a product that could have like really nice ingredients, deliver really nice benefits, but instead of leaning into the things that are really proven to do that, they're like, let's come up with a theme for this. Like, what should the theme of this mask be? I know, picture this. The Mediterranean Sea. The other thing that they call out in this, which I find to be really strange, is Procapil complex, they say, which helps to anchor roots and lessen hair loss. So it's literally like an anti-shedding ingredient, which I think is a really strange choice for a hair mask, which you're usually not applying directly to your scalp. I don't know. All around, confused by the way that they're promoting ingredients in this, when what's more likely to be actually giving us the benefits that they're describing are the ingredients at the very top. Stearyl alcohol, dimethicone, cetyl alcohol, you get it. In addition to the strange marketing tactics, this truly has to have the strangest texture I have ever felt for a hair mask. If you have ever tried the Pheno hair mask that went super viral for glassy, shiny looking hair, it's kind of similar to that, but weirder. It also has a jelly-like texture, but it's kind of like gummy, or maybe slimy is just the better way to describe it. It kind of like gums up and glops and doesn't spread easily on the hair. I feel like this reminds me of slime that I played with when I was little. Like if I'm really trying to think about what this feels similar to. The smell of this is also so weird, you guys. This is one of those products where I'm like, how did we get here? At first, like at surface smell, it smells nice, but then you get this undertone of like rubber. Ugh, what on earth? What I liked about it after using it was the fact that my hair did not feel weighed down. I didn't have any sort of heavy weighed down feel, but my hair was definitely not as soft and silky and shiny as it is with my favorite conditioning products. Surprisingly, it wasn't terrible. I thought while I was using it, it was gonna just be a disaster. It wasn't, it just wasn't great. Let's move on to leave-ins, starting off with the new Vichy Durco Salicylic Acid Anti-Dandruff Serum. So this is supposed to directly target dandruff at its source, helping to reduce signs like flaking, itching, scaling, redness, and irritation. It also claims to leave the scalp feeling hydrated and soothed. It has 1.9% salicylic acid, madecassoside, vitamin C, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid. This is another that smells heavily of men's cologne. It's intensely fragranced, which is probably part of the reason why this immediately just set my scalp to flame. Like the burning. It could also be because the second ingredient is denatured alcohol and there was some sort of like just drying sensation that I was getting with it, maybe mixed with the fragrance. I don't know for sure, but I do definitely know that my scalp did not feel soothed. It did not feel hydrated. It just felt irritated. The one benefit to this that okay, that was not a nice even mist. The benefit to this is that it dries down quickly. I think because denatured alcohol is the second ingredient, it has that nice, like very rapid dry down that you would expect. Why did I just spray this on my hands? Maybe it's like men's deodorant. That's what it smells like. And because of that, it's something that would be less likely to make your hair look greasy, which is definitely a common complaint with leave-ins that you're supposed to put on your scalp. Like no one wants to have clean hair, put in a scalp leave-in and be like, okay, I just made it greasy. So if that heavy fragrance does not bother you, then it might be something that you really enjoy using because of that. But for me, I will not put this on my scalp ever again. I finally have my thoughts formed on the Unite 7-Second Detangler, which is a leave-in conditioner that I've talked to you guys about being interested in trying several times already. It's supposed to be a lightweight detangler that also strengthens, protects, and offers heat and UV protection. It contains amodimethicone and panthenol, and something that I found to be interesting is the fact that the second ingredient is also denatured alcohol. I don't think that I've ever tried a leave-in with that as the second ingredient. And I am not somebody that's like, oh my God, you have to stay away from alcohol and hair care products. I know it serves a purpose, it's a solvent, but just being the second ingredient on the label, again, is something that I feel like I have not seen in a leave-in. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I was wondering if maybe that was part of the reason why I just didn't have a super amazing experience in using this in the way that I do other leave-ins that also have amodimethicone. I'm not sure. Again, I won't pretend to be a cosmetic chemist who like knows exactly the way that that stuff works. It was just something that I noticed. It could very well be that my favorite leave-ins just have formulas that my hair responds better to. That could be all that that is. Because it's not like I actively disliked this by any means. It's something that I feel like I actually did like, just not as much as, let's say, Pureology Color Fanatic, L'Oreal 21-in-1, Pantene Miracle Rescue. Those are all leave-ins that work better for me, make my hair easier to detangle, make my hair softer, smoother, more like sealed, if you will. They just seem to make my hair look and feel more conditioned than the Unite Detangler. So not my personal favorite, but I do know that a lot of people really love this. So if you haven't had a lot of luck with some of the favorite leave-ins that I have recommended before, then maybe this is one that will work out for you instead. The last leave-in is the Color Wow Money Mist. I actually purchased this in 2 separate Sephora VIB hauls and I didn't even realize it. That is how much product is just like in and out of my house. So I originally bought it to review it in a Sephora VIB sale, maybe like last spring, and someone must have accidentally grabbed it when they were like taking products from my PR that I was giving away. I'll have like my sisters come in, my friends come in, and sometimes things go missing in that way. Not because I think that my friends or family are like intentionally taking things. I just think there's so much product in that room that sometimes things get mixed up. But I finally got to actually test it out this time so I can give you guys a review. This is supposed to be a Luxe Light, okay. Hold on, rewind. Luxe Light Leave-In Conditioner for instantly stronger, glossy, expensive looking hair. Nothing super remarkable worth calling out about the ingredients, just like a lot of standard conditioning ingredients we see in other kinds of conditioning products. And this is in packaging that I think has pros and cons to it. It's one of those like continuous misters. I really love the fact that it helps to spread the product more evenly in a really nice light fine mist. But because of that continuous misting, it can get messy and you can kind of of like accidentally overspray a section because it doesn't stop. I mean, it eventually stops, but it's not one of those things that stops the second you take your hand off of the lever, whatever this is called. I really thought that I was gonna love this. I think because I really love Color Wow Dream Coat, and that is another lightweight leave-in, but that's not the experience that I had with this. After testing it out several times, like I'm over halfway done with it, I can confirm that it's just not something that works well for my hair. The detangling process is not quite as seamless and easy as with my favorite leave-ins. My hair was also really staticky every time that I used this, and I just felt like my hair wasn't coated and conditioned as nicely as it is with my favorites. Like my hair just kind of felt more fragile than normal. So Color Wow Money Mist will not be added to my collection of my favorite leave-in conditioners. Moving on to styling products, first is a new dry shampoo from Nexxus called the Advanced Invisible Clean Dry Shampoo. This claims to have something that they trademarked called Flex Adapt Smart technology that is supposed to adapt to your unique oil levels for your longest lasting clean hair. Instantly leaves hair feeling soft, shiny, and weightlessly clean like an in-shower shampoo. It definitely did not leave my hair looking shiny. I think, you know, like almost every other dry shampoo I've tried, it does have like a little bit of that dulling, drying effect just in the way that it looks on the roots, because that's just like kind of how dry shampoo works. And it definitely isn't something that feels weightless or like I just washed my hair and used a shampoo. Certainly nothing like that. I think that it does do a good job of absorbing the look of oil, but this actually claims to be translucent. Like it says no white residue, translucent, and it has a very intense white cast. It's something that I can get to absorb pretty well, and like I have, well, not now. I was gonna say I have really light hair. It's a little darker. But I obviously don't have super dark hair, so it's not gonna be as noticeable as it would be in somebody that had like jet black hair, let's say. But definitely like a white cast. I mean, I could even show you guys right here. I am just gonna spray this on my hand because I hate the smell of this and I don't want it in my hair. But you can even see here, like, hello? That's a white cast. Certainly not translucent. But again, I actually think that this works well. So it would be something that I would use up until it was gone if it were not for the smell. It has a really potent rose-like fragrance. Oh my God, it's like headache-inducing strong. Ugh, I don't like it. It's a no from me. Next is a styling cream from Bumble and Bumble. It's a new addition to their hairdressers lineup. Or the hairdressers invisible oil lineup to be specific. This is a long-lasting styling cream that's supposed to offer lasting moisture and style retention. This has a really nice lightweight silky texture. I really love the way that it feels and just like how light it is while silky and conditioning. And this has the same 6 oil blend that the rest of the hairdresser products have, which include Nangai oil, sweet almond oil, argan oil, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, and macadamia seed oil. So a very nourishing blend of oils for our hair in this entire system. And it definitely does help for all of those styles to last longer. I also tested this out with a curling iron that does not hold my curls very well. Like there are certain materials that curling irons are made of, the actual barrels that a huge chunk of snow just fell off my roof if you heard a crash. Some of the like plating on curling irons makes my hair fall really quickly, and so I tested this out with one of those curling irons and it definitely helped the curl to last longer. I wouldn't say that it's to the same level as something like a mousse. So for example, the Tresemme Volume Mousse is something that I have been really loving. I should have just included that in this video. That has been my go-to when I need like foolproof style hold. This is not quite as long lasting as that, but again, I really love the fact that this is also conditioning and softening. So if you're looking for kind of like a blend, you don't need super intense style hold, you don't need to the level of something like a mousse or a hairspray, then this might be one that you really love. And I would say it kind of has just like a light, fresh, tropical scent. Wrapping up with hair oils, we have the new Amika Superfruit Star Lightweight Hairstyling Oil, which I was really excited to test out because they have another hair oil that I'm forgetting the name of, but I remember trying and thinking like, this is just too heavy. It's like kind of sticky. I just really didn't like it. So I was cautiously optimistic that this would be something that just felt better both to apply and then actually sitting in my hair. In addition to doing things that oils normally do, like smoothing and adding shine, this also offers heat protection up to 450 degrees. What just happened to my voice? 450 degrees. Degrees. Okay. And then really the only ingredient worth calling out is sea buckthorn oil. Other than that, this has things like dimethicone. We love that. We are pro silicone in our oils here. I want to show the texture. Come on, does not like to do that at that angle. There we go. Here is the texture of it. It definitely is really lightweight. It's not something that feels greasy, overly oily. And there's something about this that definitely seems to coat my hair less heavily than other oils, which there's a time and a place for. Sometimes I do want a thicker coating, maybe if I used a conditioner and mask that didn't really work well. But I also like having lightweight options for when I don't want to really add something that's going to feel like built up on my hair. Oh, that looks so good. But it's still going to add some nice shine, softness, condition. So if you are somebody that has tried, let's say like the OGX oils that I recommend, and you feel like those are just too thick for you, you don't really have luck in using those, this is one that I would definitely check out. I know it's not drugstore pricing, but Amika is a brand that I feel like is more middle of the road. Like it's not so crazy expensive as some other high-end brands. Definitely something that's a little bit more accessible than that. Like for example, the Bumble and Bumble Invisible Oil that I love is $47. And this one is $32. Second to last is the Pantene Miracle Rescue Regenerative Hair Oil that is supposed to regenerate the look and feel of healthy hair from the inside out. So this has grapeseed oil, soybean oil, argan oil, and jojoba seed oil in it, in addition to their ingredient that they have in their new repair mist, which is panthenol ethyl ether, which is the ingredient that they are very much leaning into for the purpose of strengthening our hair. And this is something that can be used on both damp and dry hair. They actually recommend using it daily. We will get to why I wouldn't do that in a second, but let me show you the texture of this one. Sorry, I got a new monitor so that I can make sure my videos don't ever turn out blurry again. And it's flipped, it's like mirrored. So when I think I'm going this way, it's going the opposite way. It's really confusing me. The smell is interesting because like you can really smell the oil, but it also has like a nice fragrance added to it. So it's like kind of smells good, kind of doesn't. But this is an oil that does feel kind of greasy to me. It's just not the most elegant texture. It's not something that I loved putting in my hair. And it's also not something that made my hair look great anyway. An oil that works really well for my hair, like that one that I just used from Amika, will have kind of like a, how do I want to say this? Come together. It will like assemble all of my hair strands in a nice, sleek, uniform way. Bring things together. Do you know what I'm talking about? Why can I not think of how I want to describe that? But I had like the opposite experience with this oil where instead of it sealing, maybe that's what I'm looking for, kind of like sealing everything together, my hair just looked like separated and stringy with it. So Pantene Miracle Rescue, I normally love ya, but unfortunately not this time. And last is another oil added to another repair line, this time from L'Oreal Everpure. This is their Bond Repair Oil in Serum, which is supposed to repair weak hair bonds with heat protection up to 450 degrees. The star of the show with this is citric acid. It's claimed to have a 20% bonding care complex with citric acid. The texture of this is really interesting. It's like a gel serum. It feels really nice at first. Like in theory, it's nice and silky, but something about it makes it difficult to spread evenly in my hair. I feel like it kind of like grabs on to where I first apply it and then I can't spread it, which is probably part of the reason why it dries down to make my hair feel kind of dry and stiff, because I feel like it's kind of just like glomming on to certain areas of my hair. And every time I use this, I would try to offset that by adding more to the areas that didn't seem to like get that spread, even though they do say to just use a small amount. But adding more would just make my hair separate and not feel good. It does definitely add some shine, but I feel like it's just not nearly as much as the shine that I get with my favorite oils. So overall, I feel like this is something that just like doesn't really do much great for my hair. If anything, it does like more not so great than great. And this has the same fragrance as the Bond Repair line, the updated one that I really love, but it's so strong in this. Like I feel like it's stronger than it is in the shampoo and conditioner. Maybe not. I feel like I'm just not used to oils having this intense of a fragrance, so it is a little bit like, whew. So again, L'Oreal Everpure Bond Repair, I normally love ya, just not this time. And with that, we have gone through everything that I wanted to give you guys updated reviews on. I really hope that you found this helpful. As always, let me know your thoughts in in the comments below. Have you tested any of these products and had the same experience as me? Maybe a totally different one? Are there other hair care products that you would like me to test out and review? Keep me posted in the comments and I will make sure to read through all of those and take notes of everything that you guys would like to see from me. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give this a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, click on that notification bell, and send my channel to a friend. Thank you so much for your support in doing those things. It truly means the world. Thank you for watching my videos. I love the freaking heck out of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for my next one because that will be up a week from today. But until then, I hope you have a great week.